Okay, funny story. My wife was listening to my podcast the other day. Yes, she does that. And she said, "What's this thing called Whatnot you keep talking about on your podcast? Are you shopping without me?" Yes, I am. I'm cheating on you. It's called Whatnot. It's live shopping with chat, and it's a lot of fun. Look, I coach a lot of people online. I coach people to make money online. Most don't know how to do it. And I have been telling a few lately to go to Whatnot, see what they're doing, and give it a try. If you're a Whatnot seller, you really shine, and your people find you. And that's a big deal because if you're selling online, they need to find you for you to make money, right? And then they become repeat customers because they see your face, not just your logo. Whatnot is the largest dedicated live shopping platform, whether it's beauty, it's collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies. Yep, cookies. Sellers are building real thriving businesses. Anyone can do it too. Some people on Whatnot are selling, get this, 10 times as much as they do on other major marketplaces. And you don't know this, but Whatnot buyers spend more than an hour on the app every day. They're not browsing. That's why they call them buyers. They're buying your stuff. So here's how it works. You go live, you showcase your products, and you earn real income. Search Whatnot, WHATNOT, in the App Store, download, and you can start selling right away. So I've been talking about the glasses I ordered from Zenni Optical, my sponsor. Now, I've never ordered glasses online before. I didn't trust it, to be honest. But mine had a scratch, and Zenni was my sponsor, so I kind of sort of had to do it, right? I mean, I can't tell you about it if I haven't done it. So my previous thinking was, prices are too cheap. These can't be good. I'm not going to like them. I'm picky. I take that back. Mine costs about $70, and I can't tell the difference from the $500 pair I purchased 2 months ago. By the way, my wife likes them too. She said they look good on your face, and I want some too. And at about $70 or less, I can buy them. I am surprised, and I'm a customer. Zenni Optical has prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, all starting at under $30. Go to Zenni.com, pick a frame, upload your prescription. They'll ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And Zenni has that virtual try-on, so you can see exactly how the frames look on your face, and that is very cool and confidence building. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now it's time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out pretty quick, so don't sit on this. Go to Zenni.com/podcast, promo code podcast15. A long time ago, a friend of mine, his name was Sid. Sid was a fun guy. I hung out with him because he was unpredictable. But one day he handed me a book. Viktor Frankl wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and it is just an amazing book, and you should read it. I'm going to pull one passage from it for you today, okay? It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. Since 2006, life gets in the way. Actually, when I started my company, Motivation to Move, I started as a kind of a fitness thing and kind of moved on from there. Here's what happened. We started doing fitness stuff. And very quickly, I recognized that most people, that they had the fitness thing down already if they did. In other words, they were already going to the gym. And one day I said, well, what if I get the people outside the gym and get them to the gym? And that's when the Daily Boost podcast was born and just kind of evolved from there. So it was just reaching out of the box a little bit, if you will. But the interesting thing was when I first started, maybe you can think about this as we get this show going today. My mission was to help people get motivated. And back then, the science of motivation wasn't really proven. I'm talking, 2004 when I started doing this. And I thought I could help motivate people. And what I eventually realized was that wasn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem was life getting in the way. It was the solution to the motivation, I guess, is what happened. Now, we understand how motivation works these days, how inspiration creates motivation. We understand the dopamine, oxytocin connections and all that stuff these days. But still, ultimately, no matter how motivated you are, it's all about the life getting in the way moments, isn't it? So this show tends to focus on that. It's kind of fix its little Band-Aids to get through the day and little by little kind of digging into your mindset. And we all need that and changing your mindset just a little bit. And ultimately, that's, I think, what happens with the show. Anyway, good to have you here today. My name is Scott Smith. Thank you for stopping by. By the way, I do one-on-one coaching. I don't talk about it often because I don't often have openings for it. But a lot of the time between this podcast and maybe tomorrow is all spent coaching somebody. It's one-on-one. I call it my wisdom to wealthy journey. It's what I focus on. It's deep, results-driven, one-on-one relationship between me and you. It's personal, it's business, and it's in between, which is usually where the mess up is. If you're in business, you know what I mean by that. If you're personal, you know what I mean by that, probably. But it's usually in the middle. And we work on all levels on that. If my way of thinking resonates with you, and if you have some wisdom to share looking to impact the world and maybe doing something similar to what I do, I tend to focus on the wisdom areas and the online areas because that's what I do. Go to faceyourpassion.com. My one-on-one coaching is under that banner, faceyourpassion.com. Just fill out the app and you and I will be talking very soon. All right, so Viktor Frankl and my friend Sid. Sid was an incredible guy, and he took off one day. He did. He left. It was like 18 years ago. He just left and never heard from him again. He's in Arizona someplace. That's all I know. He went, he got divorced, all that kind of stuff. It happens. People disappear from time to time. They reinvent themselves, and he did. But I had a good time with him because he was superhuman. He just really understood life. And I met a few people in my life like that as well. Usually what happens, I can think of three right now. It's Sid, a Croy, and a Troy. Those are the three names, and they know me well, and they know I know them well, and they know their names will get mentioned. These people had early life experiences that really gave them a different meaning of life, and they just got it. They just did. And I think all of us do that. Tony Robbins for years has said change happens in an instant. Now, in the world of personal growth, getting what you want, you're like, could it please happen today? It will. Sometimes it takes 20 years to get to that instantaneous click that changes everything. But other times, something happens in your life that changes who you are, and you're never the same. Some people call it the pain line. You hit a pain line, and you know the pain line. The pain line that you hit, I think Dan Martell wrote that in his book, Buying Back My Time. I believe that's what it was called. The pain line is that moment in time when that's it, done, over, ain't happening ever again. That's the pain line. And you probably have hit it. You may be there today. You may have found this podcast today because you hit a pain line. You're trying to find your way across that line. We're not going to go across the line. We're going to turn and go the other way and do something else. But Viktor Frankl wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. It's one of the books that I have read a lot. I typically pick it up, I'm going to say at least once a year, probably a little bit more than that. And if you're watching on camera today, I'm just going to turn my attention to the screen so I can read this and get it right. And if not, pretend I didn't say that, okay? It's an amazing book. Viktor Frankl did he did what was called logotherapy, a lot of early what I do kind of stuff, right? A little deeper than that, I think, in many ways. And even spent some time in a Nazi concentration camp. It was not a pretty story. In fact, it was a pretty ugly story. And it was one that needs to be told again and again and again. But this is the passage I want to share with you. So listen closely as I read this, because I know a lot of times in this world, we talk about success. And if you've listened to me long enough, you'll know that I'm not a big fan of the word success. I think we all get it instantaneously. It's kind of a high concept idea. High concept meaning when I say success, you say, oh yeah, I like that. Who wouldn't, right? But you can be success at something very badly. Something really bad can happen because you're a success at making the bad thing happen. But as a high concept, it's like, yeah, we get it right away, which is why I like to define it a little bit. Here's what Viktor says. Don't aim for success. The more you aim at it, make it a target, the more you're going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue. That it only does so as a side effect of one's personal dedication to cause greater than oneself, or as a byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. Happiness must happen, and the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it.
And we're live on match day as Doug reaches for a buffalo wing. He's got it! Oh, and he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! What a finish! There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi.
Think about that for a second. There's so much that can come to mind in that passage. There is so much there. But I can tell you, I've learned in my life that the minute you just say, pain line, done, yeah, I don't care. No, I'm not going after it for that. It's not going to bother me. I'm going for it as a side effect of what I do. I have said many, many times, what I do for a living, like it or not, I like it. I don't know if you do or not, but whether you like it or not, it's still what I do. But as a side effect of what I do, many people are impacted by Scott's crazy words, wisdom, and wisecracks, and sometimes the fact that I come to this show and read a Viktor Frankl passage. That's what I do. I don't focus on the other stuff. And I'm happy because of it. When I launched my Wisdom to Wealthy program, or my Face Your Passion program, if you know it, it's where peak performers find their North Star. That's what we call that. But ultimately, it's built on 4 pillars. You ready for this? Listen, write this down if you haven't done this. You don't have to come into the program. I'm just using it as a reference, okay? passion, purpose, meaning, and legacy. That's what we work on. Those are the 4 pillars. And here's how it works. If you haven't heard me say this before, listen very closely. Here's how it works. If you want true happiness in your life without focusing on being happy or being successful, here's what you do. You get out of bed and you bumble and stumble your way around, because we all do. And you discover something that catches your attention, and suddenly you're passionate about it. My joke all the time is, in this area anyway, this time of year anyway, people seem to stumble upon pickleball a lot. And suddenly it's the thing, you know what I mean? So you bumble and stumble, you find something that you're passionate about. You go, I want to do more of that. And you start doing it. And eventually you get out of bed every single day. My goal is to get to the pickleball court before anybody else does. You do it on purpose, because passion will become purpose if you invest your time. You begin to get good at it. You start to enjoy the process a little more. If you do it long enough, the meaning of your life may become pickleball. Who knows what it's going to become? But you can't do anything every single day. You can do a job you hate for 20 years, and that's the meaning in your life. That's what happens. And eventually that is your legacy. And so we know legacy kind of starts backwards. If you want to have a great legacy, you have to build a great legacy, right? So we do that along the way. So when we look at this man's search for meaning of Viktor Frankl in that passage, and I really mean you should read that book, because it's inspiring in a very kind of dark way. But when you run around looking for this happiness and the success thing that is fleeting at best, because that's life, it's just a side effect of what you're doing. So whatever you do today, I want you to think about that. I just want you to, be in the moment if you can. If you find yourself doing something, I was noodling on my motorcycle yesterday, and I was like, I'm kind of having fun with it. I've 8 bikes in my life. I had bikes since I was 16. I'm just kind of passionately doing it. At the end of my life, when I lay down, well, I won't be in a box. I don't know what I'll do. But when people show up, by the way, if you want to come to my funeral in the future, just to be fair, it's double password. It's like double authentication. I'm going to make it really difficult for you to get to my funeral. Okay. You're going to have to double authenticate the whole thing. But when they do, they're probably going to say a couple of things. What would people say about my funeral? They would probably say, Scott was a good guy. He talked a lot and he rode motorcycles. I'm hoping it'll be deeper than that, but if I've accomplished that, good guy, talked a lot, rode motorcycles, that's not bad, right? I can live with that. It's going to happen anyway. All right. DailyBoostPodcast.com/Facebook. I am over there. FaceYourPassion.com. If you want to get some coaching, that's where you find me.